Right now on WSAV's First News at 4, it's the season for gift giving and gift buying. And the clerk in the Murdaugh trial has been accused of plagiarizing her book. Plus, the graffiti on a Confederate monument in Savannah is still there. WSAV got local reaction.
It's 4 o'clock on WSAV, on your side. Now, WSAV presents First News at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Christine Crayley in for Edward and Tina. Thank you for joining us. Local businesses say the holiday shopping season has been very good to them, and it isn't over yet. Many people took part in some shopping after Christmas today at the Savannah Christmas Market. A holiday tradition in Savannah, bringing all kinds of people to the hostess city.
This is our first time at the market. It's been amazing so far. We're super happy and excited to be here.
The day after Christmas, also known as Boxing Day, a day where people usually pack up all of the gifts they don't want and head to the mall, armed with their receipts. In Savannah, though, many people are instead choosing to shop local at the outdoor Savannah Christmas Market. Lots of them were out-of-towners, but vendors say that locals have been enjoying the fun as well.
It's actually a really good mix. I had never even come down here before I started working down here, and after being down here, I really love it because it's a good way to get your Christmas gifts in, but a lot of locals come down here and they're like, oh, I normally don't ever come down here, and they get down here and they start looking at everything, and it's like really nice and fun way to get into the community and everything like that.
With the Christmas season winding down, you might think business would have been slow today, but the walkways were still filled with shoppers, even on this rainy day. In fact, vendors tell me they're looking forward to even more business after the holiday.
The day after Christmas is usually a very busy day. It's usually a very good day as well. Lots of people are spending their holiday money or their Christmas money that they got, and it's just a great opportunity for people to be able to explore and share and learn.
From talking to the local businesses down here, actually everyone has told me that this week will be really busy and awesome for sales. So I am actually looking forward to a lot more sales.
The Savannah Christmas Market is open until January 1st, which means you still have plenty of time to head down to River Street and meet some of Savannah's local artists.
Well, the past couple of days have been on the wetter side across the region and very overcast as well. Throughout the day, though, for us here, at least in the Low Country and Coastal Empire, showers are beginning to subside, but we're still dealing with that mainly cloudy sky across the region and very misty conditions out there as well. Right now, taking a live look at our temperatures, we're at 66 degrees in and around Savannah. We get that south-southeasterly wind at around 5 miles per hour as well. So all in all, pretty calm day outside, and it will continue to increase in terms of our conditions as we go throughout the overnight hours and into the day. Tomorrow we expect more in terms of sunshine. Storm Team 3 Viper radar, we're mostly quiet out there except for a few spotty showers off to the north. Otherwise, we're seeing some pretty misty conditions out there at the moment. So nothing in terms of heavy rain, just a very much a nuisance type of rain as we're going through the late afternoon hours. Total rainfall from this storm, around an inch in some spots in and around Savannah, over an inch as well in Hilton Head. Off to our west, a little bit less, around an inch in Statesboro, and around a half inch in Sylvania. Off to our south and west, that's where you saw a little bit less in terms of those rainfall totals, around a tenth of an inch to maybe a quarter of an inch in other spots. But as we go through the next couple of hours, we're going to see temperatures really holding steady in the 60s for many spots. We're still in the middle and even upper 60s in a few locations, even 70s off to our south in places like Jessup and Darien coming in at 74 degrees. Overnight hours, we'll start to see temperatures fall into the low 60s, remaining mostly cloudy. We could see maybe 1 or 2 more showers roll through early this evening before mostly cloudy skies take over. Next 3 days, we'll see more peaks of sunshine as we head throughout the afternoon hours of tomorrow, and then we'll be improving those conditions as we head through Thursday into Friday. Friday, lots of sunshine in store, but temperatures will be much cooler in the 50s as a cold front moves through. So timing things out, again, maybe 1 or 2 more showers as we go through the early overnight hours. Conditions will be cloudy and potentially even foggy as we go through early tomorrow morning, with some areas of dense fog likely to set up. So make sure if you're traveling out on the roadways early tomorrow, you are being cautious. However, as we go into the afternoon, that's where we could see some breaks of sunshine. Temperatures in the 70s, so it will be mild, upper 60s for other locations, but overall those rain chances are going to be decreasing as we head throughout the week as high pressure takes control. Tonight we'll be down into the upper 50s to right around 60 in some spots. Fog will be developing late, so something to note if you're out on the roadways tomorrow. Tomorrow, upper 60s to around 70 for those high temperatures, so very mild out there. West wind at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Marine forecast seas will be around 3 to 4 feet. Small craft advisory still in effect out there on the waterways, but as we go through the next couple of days, we will be dry and lots of sunshine looks to take control as we head into Friday and into this weekend as well, with more rain coming early next week. Christine?
Thanks so much, Brian. Continuing our coverage now, the South Carolina court clerk who oversaw the trial of convicted murderer Alex Murdaugh and is at the center of a jury tampering claim is now being accused of plagiarism by the co-author of her book. The accusations allege that Colton County Court of Clerk Rebecca Hill lifted passages in the beginning of her book titled Behind the Doors of Justice, The Murdaugh Murders from a draft of an ABC News article. Neil Gordon, the co-author of the book, released a statement today saying he was, quote, blindsided by her actions. The book was originally published in July, but officials say further publication of it has now been stopped. Murdaugh is serving 2 consecutive life sentences for killing his wife Maggie and their younger son Paul back in June 2021. Last month, he was given a 27-year sentence after pleading guilty to 22 counts of financial crimes against his clients. And in Savannah, police haven't caught the person who graffitied a Confederate monument this weekend. It's still stained with pro-Palestine messages. We sent WSAV's Eden Hodges out to see what people thought about it.
Yeah, that red graffiti is visible from the roads along Forsyth Park. I actually saw dozens of people stopping to take pictures of the controversy that's happening right here in the heart of Savannah.
Free Gaza, free Palestine, no Christmas in Bethlehem. These messages appeared on a Confederate monument in Forsyth Park early Christmas Eve.
I feel that the kind of people that did this graffiti are the kind of people that make us feel that we have to hire armed guards to protect us.
Rebecca and Richard Howard are visiting from Florida. They tell me their synagogue back home has ramped up security after Hamas attacks began.
I'm strongly against it. I am very upset about the destruction and death in Gaza, but I am Jewish, and I think that a lot of the sympathy for Hamas and for some of the Palestinians, certainly not all of them, is misguided and misunderstood.
The Howards tell me they can't appreciate this form of protest like other more peaceful methods.
There is nothing radical about aspects like this when hundreds of people are dying over there, and there's so much evidence of that and just videos coming out that it's like, to be offended by this, come on.
Catherine Bauer is a local studying studio art at Armstrong. She tells me her studies give her a different perspective.
Art is all about talking about your opinion and getting it out there, and especially when there is like truth and things that need to be said. I think that graffiti is something that it needs to happen.
All 4 sides of the monument were defaced, something Bauer says she's noticed happening pretty often.
Especially with the holidays, we're kind of putting it to the side and having something like this where people are walking by it, people are seeing it on like a monument like this. It's really important.
Police have not been able to catch the suspect, but they will be facing vandalism charges.
The City of Savannah's Park and Tree Department handles the graffiti removal. People from the city tell me it hasn't been cleaned yet because many workers are still enjoying their holiday. Thanks. I'm Eden Hodges, WSAV News 3, on your side.
Thank you, Eden. Now in a WSAV military report, Old Fort Jackson in Savannah is offering some special programming this week. The fort has become known for daily cannon firings. Usually they fire the smaller cannon, the 6 or 12-pound one. On Friday, they're going to fire the largest cannon that they have. It's the 9-inch Dahlgren cannon, and it's an original cannon that was cast in 1857. They've reinforced the inside with stainless steel to protect it. And then on Saturday, the fort will welcome the 4th Georgia Continentals for a special presentation. They're a group of historians that have done incredible research on accurately portraying the lives of the Patriots and British troops during the Revolutionary War.
Thanks to their help, we will be able to give a much more complete and impressive display of the weapons and tactics that were used in 1778. This is an exciting year because this will be the 245th anniversary when the British captured Savannah in the Revolutionary War. So we're so excited that they're going to help us more completely tell that story.
Old Fort Jackson is located off of President Street in Savannah. It's one of 6 historic sites managed by the Coastal Heritage Society. Be careful when you're out on the roads. Georgia's Department of Public Safety just released some grim statistics showing there have been at least 14 traffic deaths in Georgia since the Christmas holiday travel period began on Friday. A few of those crashes happening in Hinesville and Waycross. In addition to increased traffic, the end of the year is also the time when officers see an increase in the number of impaired drivers on Georgia's roads.
To help make sure everyone gets home safe this new year, the law firm Farah & Farah is bringing back its Safe Ride Home program in Savannah and several other cities. You can get a free $50 Uber credit to get yourself home. This will be available from 6 p.m. on December 31st until New Year's Day. You can register ahead of time for one of these ride credits starting tomorrow by visiting the Farah & Farah website. And don't forget, AAA is also offering its Tow to Go program. January 6th, when called, AAA will send a tow truck to take you and your car to a safe location within a 10-mile radius for free. You do not have to be a AAA member to use the service, but for this program, you can't schedule a ride in advance. Looking ahead now, Tybee Island residents will soon see their water bills go up. Starting January 1st, next Monday, the city will increase costs for water and sewer by 7%. The city tells us the increased revenue will be used for, quote, replacements of sewer and water mains, water tower improvements, and upgrades to odor control and wastewater treatment. It's also important to note water and sewer costs can be even higher during what is considered peak season on Tybee, June 1st to August 31st. And meanwhile, people who live on Daufuskie Island are going to see some big changes to their ferry service in the new year. The only way to get on and off Daufuskie Island is by boat, and right now the dock is at Buckingham Landing. However, the county is in negotiations for a new ferry contract for next year, and a court order requires the dock in Hilton Head to be moved to a new location. The ferry will begin departing from C.C. Haig Jr. Public Boat Landing on Pinckney Island, starting January 1st. And while the situation is temporary, it may create more traffic in the area and more of a commute for people who regularly use the ferry. Following up now in Pooler, the Main Street Master Plan has been approved by City Council. WSAV's Sarah Smith spoke to Mayor Rebecca Benton about what we can expect.
The purpose of the Main Street Master Plan is to upgrade what the city calls Pooler's historic district, while also bringing more foot traffic and business to the area. It is a vision for the Main Street corridor stretching from Highway 80 to I-95 and a little into Pooler Parkway. The goal, preserving old Pooler and inviting tourists, residents, and new businesses to fill rundown buildings. Mayor Rebecca Benton tells News 3 incentives are expected with business permits at a cheaper price than elsewhere in the city. According to city leaders, nothing has been rezoned yet. The city held multiple public hearings, and Benton says they considered many of the residents' concerns.
It's a whole plan about how that should be, because we had a number of hearings with the participants from the public, and one thing that they asked for were crosswalks, because it's hard to cross US Highway 80.
We do not have a timeline for the project yet, but we do know it is a private development. Coming up tonight on News 3 at 6, we'll hear from a local business owner about how this project will impact area businesses. Reporting in Pooler, Sarah Smith, WSAV News 3, on your side.
Well, Christmas is over, and for many of us, that means it's time to get rid of a lot of boxes, wrapping paper, and even your tree. Bring one for the chipper kick off today at Savannah Airport. You can stop by the airport's recycling lot on Agra Drive until January 7th. Just be sure before dropping off your tree that you take off all the decorations. Trees will be chipped into mulch that will then be used throughout the airport's property. The Low Country also has a recycling drop. Beaufort County residents with convenience center decals can bring their Christmas trees to any center during normal business hours. For residents who don't have decals, items can be dropped off at Shanklin Road in Beaufort or Simmonsville Road in Bluffton. Again, remove all decorations before you drop off a tree. And be sure to flatten cardboard boxes. There will be bins for trees and cardboard boxes, wrapping paper, bubble wrap, and leftover cooking grease. For more information on locations and hours, call 843-255-2736. Now today marks the first day of Kwanzaa, and the Plant Riverside District is hosting some special events to celebrate. A Kwanzaa celebration with master storyteller Lillian Grant Baptiste is happening today. The event begins at 5:30 at Beethoven's Terrace in Plant Riverside, and a reception will follow. Everyone is invited to come by and share the spirit while embracing the rich cultural history that this holiday represents. Also kicking off today, the 4th annual Kwanzaa Crawl. The event showcases local restaurants, artists, and vendors from Savannah's African American community. A different restaurant will host the celebration each night. Tonight, it will be at B. Nicole Bistro on East Victory Drive. Donations and proceeds collected throughout the week will benefit Save Our Youth Savannah. You can find more details at WSAV.com. And tax season is right around the corner, and we're taking a look at what you need to know to be ready. You're watching WSAV First News at 4. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Now, as we end the holiday season, many people will soon start preparing for, you guessed it, tax season. Before submitting your taxes, experts say you should consider any major life events, new businesses, or side gigs. Experts say you could benefit from reviewing your records throughout the year.
A lot of people since COVID have been doing side gigs, right? So am I going to be expecting income statements from like Uber, DoorDash, Grubhub, any of those things? And if you do, that means you're a small business owner.
Small business owners and fields centered around driving can claim deductions on mileage, as well as things you buy with your own money for work. And make sure you have all relevant paperwork before talking to your tax advisor. As 2023 comes to a close, scientists worry that decades of progress cleaning up air pollution might be erased by smoke from this summer's wildfires. A new report from Stanford University shows Americans were exposed to 66% more air pollution than just 2 years ago. According to the American Lung Association, breathing dirty air kills more than 60,000 Americans each year. So national climate reporter Chase Kane sat down with an air pollution expert for today's year-end climate special.
We're on the roof of 30 Rock in New York, and if we had been doing this last summer, I mean, we wouldn't have been able to see some of these buildings. That certainly gets people's attention, but then there's the pollution that people live with every day, right?
Yeah, 2023 was a really big year in terms of the U.S. general awareness about air pollution and the link to climate change. We saw the wildfire smoke that was coming in from Canada, and I think the big lesson learned there is that air knows no boundaries and climate change knows no boundaries. In the United States, we have industrial pollution, whether that's coming from trash incinerators, big factories, chemical manufacturing, trucking industry. What we end up seeing is that systematically, over and over and over again, those polluting facilities are generally based in communities of color and low-income communities.
And so for people, often communities of color who are exposed to air pollution on a daily basis, studies are showing that they have higher blood pressure, even anxiety and depression. What do we do about that?
When something is not acutely harming a person and is not very visible, oftentimes it can fly under the radar in terms of what's the actual cause. We've needed to lean on big holistic data sets to really understand that link between air pollution, climate change, and some of these chronic diseases.
So if there's a community that has some of these chronic air pollution issues and they want to do something about it, what challenges do they face?
So I would say one of the biggest challenges, to speak very frankly, is that the United States is built on capitalism. And what that has meant for communities is that company profits and industry profits have oftentimes been placed ahead of community needs and health and well-being. If you have a polluting facility in your backyard and you say, not in my backyard, and you are a neighborhood that is oftentimes overlooked and not listened to, it can be very challenging to go up against some of these forces.
And looking into 2024, also a year where we're going to see a lot more of the dollars from the Inflation Reduction Act start flowing, which will also hopefully address some of these issues of air pollution and climate change, right?
Yes, there has been a large federal commitment for investment into environmental justice communities. If we take the opportunity to center justice while we're dealing with the climate challenge, then we can have the world that we all would love to live in, which is one where justice is front and center.
Be sure to catch the full special, Our Planet's Future, on NBC News Now and streaming on Peacock.
In our health report this evening, the FDA has approved a genetic test to assess a person's risk for opioid addiction. The AVERT-D test is meant for adults who may have to take a short course of oral opioid pain medications, like after a surgery. AVERT-D uses a cheek swab sample to analyze genetic markers associated with addiction. It can only be prescribed to people who haven't used opioids before, and it's not meant for people being treated for chronic pain. Some experts are skeptical. They say genetics are complicated and the test could result in false positives. In more health news, now this is something you may have never heard of before. A new vibrating pill could help people lose weight. The pill was developed by researchers at MIT. It's called the Vibrating Ingestible Bioelectric Stimulator, or VIBES. It can mimic the feeling of being full by vibrating in the patient's stomach for about 40 minutes. It'll then be passed through the digestive tract in 4 or 5 days. It hasn't been tested on humans yet, but animals ate 40% less after taking the pill. The researchers say this could be a cheaper and non-invasive option to treat obesity. And the holiday travel rush begins again today with some of the busiest travel days expected toward the end of the week. And holiday travel has started relatively smooth. Coming up, we take a travel look conditions to make as many start to make their way back home. You're watching WSAV First News at 4. Welcome back. Now, it's anticipated to be one of the busiest end-of-the-year holiday travel seasons, with millions of Americans expected to fly or drive between now and New Year's Day. But it's been a tough stretch already for some travelers who've been delayed or even stranded. NBC's Morgan Chesky is at Dallas Love Field Airport with more.
This morning, Americans are on the move. Millions now returning from the Christmas weekend, and many heading off for their New Year holiday, taking to roads, rails, and the skies. On the road, blizzard conditions across the plains and Midwest making for a chaotic drive back home for millions celebrating the holidays, with travel dangerous to impossible at times, according to the National Weather Service. In Nebraska, the State Patrol says it responded to more than 100 weather-related incidents, despite urging drivers to stay off the road. Dangerous whiteout conditions and ice on the interstate as well caused semi-trucks to slip off-road. In several dangerous cases, jackknife tractor trailers forced highways to shut down for hours. And while air travel was mostly smooth over the weekend, travelers still face some trouble in certain areas.
We had an evening flight and it was delayed because of the fog and then eventually canceled.
In Chicago, thick fog over the weekend delayed dozens of flights, even triggering some cancellations. Southwest with nearly 300 cancellations on Sunday after the fog at Midway caused disruptions. But it was nowhere near last year's Christmas meltdown, where the airline canceled nearly 17,000 flights. Southwest says it expects to be back to a full operation today. This year's travel period between Christmas and New Year's Day, the second busiest since 2019. According to AAA, more than 115 million travelers are expected to go 50 miles or more from home by air or car. And the race home for the holidays even surpassing pre-pandemic levels at the nation's airports, with more than 2.6 million people going through TSA checkpoints last Thursday. And despite some travel in the skies, travelers did not lose their holiday spirits.
There's frustrated people out here, but there's also plenty of cheer.
Hundreds of bills voted on in Congress this year, but a few ever made it to the president's desk. We look at what's left for lawmakers when they return from their holiday recess. NBC's Joe Khalil has more. Take a look.
Typically, when you've got an election year, it becomes even more difficult to pass big pieces of legislation, and Congress certainly left a lot of those on the table this year that they're waiting until January to take up again. Most notably is that big package that has border security measures in it, along with that foreign aid for Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. Now, we've been all over this story as the negotiations had been happening last week. Leadership from both parties have indicated they think there's good progress being made, but Republicans have made very clear that Democrats are not going to get the foreign aid for Ukraine that they want until there are very serious policy changes when it comes to our asylum laws, and there need to be serious efforts made to try to shore up and secure the border. So those negotiations are ongoing. I'm told that the negotiators there, the Senate Democrats, Senate Republicans, are taking today off for Christmas, but they're going to get right back to it tomorrow. So we're going to see whether they can actually come up with something that's good enough for Senate Republicans to live with, something that's good enough for the White House to live with, and then it's got to be sold to the House, which is going to be an entirely different challenge in itself. Also, one important thing to remember, as those negotiations are happening, there are still two government shutdown deadlines that we've got to contend with, one in January, one in February. So those will be hanging over the heads of lawmakers, particularly the lawmakers that are in the room discussing all of these big negotiations. That could certainly impact them one way or another. So a lot that Congress has on its plate as soon as it comes back into session in January.
All right, taking a live look outside right now. Now, Brian, it was a pretty gloomy day, pretty rainy, but the Christmas tree is still up, so looking very pretty. But how is our weather looking for the rest of the day?
Yeah, certainly hasn't been the best of days out there today. Like you said, very gloomy, very damp, I think is a good word that we can use for the day today. Very overcast as well, and we'll continue with the overcast skies as we go through the evening hours. We'll also see just a few more showers roll through the area early this evening. But taking a live look at our Storm Team 3 Viper radar, we do have a few showers off to our north near the Hampton area that are moving through. Very light showers. Otherwise, especially near the coastline, we're seeing very misty conditions as well as this big plume of moisture continues to stream up from the south. Luckily, though, as we head through the day tomorrow, we're going to start to dry out across the region. So here's our system that's working its way through the area. We do have a cold front that's going to be moving through as we head through the overnight hours, and that's going to switch our wind direction out of the west. So we're not going to see this misty type of conditions as we head throughout the afternoon hours of tomorrow. However, we do expect some fog to form as we head through the overnight hours, as we do have a lot of moisture in the lower levels of our atmosphere. We do have high pressure that is building in, so we're going to see calm winds take control as we head throughout the overnight hours as well. But our rain chances, as I said, they're going to be decreasing as we head through tomorrow, but overnight still staying on the slight side. However, as we wake up early tomorrow morning, the rain chances should be well and truly gone out of the region at that point. So that's some good news there. For your Wednesday, we're going to be tracking temperatures mild once again in the upper 60s to around 70 in some locations. Otherwise, partly cloudy skies will take over as we head throughout the afternoon. Take a quick look at your drive times. Looks like we're all good. No major delays to report at this time. We'll have another look at our weather and traffic coming up in just a little bit. Christine?
Thanks so much, Brian. Now we have more news ahead, including a look at the aftermath of the U.S.'s retaliatory airstrikes in Iraq. Stay with us. WSAV First News at 4 continues after the break. Welcome back. Making headlines tonight, a Russian naval ship in Crimea has been damaged in an airstrike by Ukrainian forces, as Russian troops report battle gains in eastern Ukraine. Russian officials said the landing ship was hit at a base by plane-launched guided missiles, adding that 2 Ukrainian fighter jets were destroyed by anti-aircraft fire during the attack. Over the past several months, Ukrainian forces have conducted attacks around Crimea, mostly with sea drones. This, as Russia said on Sunday that its forces have gained more ground in the conflict. But Kiev's military denied Moscow's claim, saying Ukrainian troops were continuing to repel Russian forces. The U.S. military said it carried out retaliatory airstrikes in Iraq on Monday after a drone attack by Iran-aligned militants that left one U.S. service member in critical condition and wounded 18 other people. Now Iraq's government is condemning the U.S.'s retaliation, calling it a, quote, clear hostile act. Iraqi officials said the retaliatory airstrikes targeted headquarters of the Iraqi armed Hezbollah. Debris, burned out vehicles, and a crater could be seen. The United States has roughly 900 troops in Syria and 2,500 in Iraq on a mission, it says, aims to advise and assist local forces in trying to prevent a resurgence of Islamic State. Israeli forces continue to strike Palestinian refugee camps in central Gaza and issued new orders telling residents to evacuate today. Signs that the military plans to expand its ground offensive of the besieged enclave. NBC's Jay Gray reports from Tel Aviv.
Well, it is day 81 of the war in Gaza today. We're hearing from the Israeli chief of staff for the army, who says the war is, quote, expected to continue for many more months. Intense fighting on the ground focused on identifying and destroying tunnels across the region. Airstrikes continue as well, targeting Hamas command and control centers, according to the IDF. We know that at least 70 people have died, according to the Hamas-run Palestinian Ministry of Health in Gaza. They say that happened at Al-Maghazi, a refugee camp where many of those displaced by the fighting have come to seek shelter. The UN says that Israeli bombing has led to more than 100 deaths in the region just since Christmas. The U.S. has been pushing Israel to back off a bit, with the number of those killed in this war growing significantly over the last week or so. But Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu here in Israel has said that they will continue to press forward. And in fact, the fighting has intensified both from the air and on the ground. That's the latest from here in Tel Aviv. I'm Jay Gray. Now back to you.
All right, thanks, Jay. Now we're taking another live look outside of Savannah Camp. So this is Tybee Island, but you really can't see much because it's pretty misty out there, Brian. So, tell us a little bit about what we're looking at.
Yeah, certainly very misty down there on Tybee. A lot of moisture in the lower levels of our atmosphere, and that's going to promote some fog development as we go through the overnight hours. So I expect as we head into early tomorrow morning, there will likely be many dense spots in terms of that fog coverage. So make sure, you're keeping things safe out there on the roadways at this time of our afternoon. But as it comes to Storm Team 3 Viper radar, you could see just a few minor showers off to our north near the Hampton area. Otherwise, we're looking like very light showers across the region. We do have a more moderate to heavy burst of rain offshore, and that's going to continue to move off to the north. However, it won't be impacting us in the low country and coastal empires. This cold front's going to push all this moisture offshore as we head through the overnight hours and into the day tomorrow. And high pressure will take over, and we're going to see lots of sunshine start to build in as we head into the end of this week and into this upcoming weekend. So there's some good news there. We're going to be getting rid of all the cloud cover and all this rain as we head through the next couple of hours. So those rain chances as we go through 7, 9, and even 11 o'clock tonight, they will stay on the slight side, maybe 1 or 2 more passing showers. However, as we get into early tomorrow morning, the rain chance will be pretty much done for us as this storm system moves its way out, as the cold front moves its way offshore. So taking a look through our Wednesday, looks like we'll have increasing sunshine as we go through the afternoon hours, staying partly cloudy, definitely more clouds than sun tomorrow, but at least temperatures will be back into the upper 60s to right around 70. Drive times at the moment, seeing some pretty heavy delays from Savannah to Hilton Head, so make sure you're taking things slow out there on the roadways with all that fog and the very wet pavement at this time of the afternoon. Christine?
All right, thank you, Brian. Now, in a consumer alert, phone carrier Mint Mobile is notifying customers about a security breach. Officials say hackers assessed information that includes names, phone numbers, email addresses, and SIM card numbers. They did not access credit card numbers or passwords. The company has set up a customer support number to handle questions, but they say customers do not need to take any action. And a recall involving 2 toys on this day after Christmas. Over 200,000 child dress-up play sets are being recalled. The Liddy City Premier Doctor and Teacher Purse play sets are affected. Also being recalled are slime eggs produced by toy company Predex. The toys were sold online on Amazon and Walmart from July 2021 through April of this year. Both sets of toys are said to contain lead and other contaminants which are toxic if ingested. If you have them, keep them away from your child and contact the manufacturer for a refund. And now coming up, a dog saved on Christmas Day from the shivering cold for a Christmas Day rescue. We take a look at that story and more after the break. Welcome back to WSAV First News at 4. In Washington State, a Christmas miracle unfolded for a puppy that was brought in from the cold. His angel turned out to be a veterinary nurse. NBC's Lionel Donovan has a story with a perfect holiday ending.
Like many Tacomans, Haley Clairhue was enjoying her holidays at home when her husband informed her that there was a dog outside. So she came out to investigate.
So he was curled up in front of my neighbor's porch right here, like literally on their little mat, just curled up in a ball, shivering, and his eyes were closed, and he just wasn't even reacting to me.
Haley immediately sprang into action. Naming him Turkey Tom, she brought the dog into her home to get him out of the cold weather. As a vet nurse, Haley says she could tell that Tom was outside for some time and was too weak to even stand, but there was only so much she could do.
It was a little above my pay with the emaciation level that he was at. It was a little above my pay grade. So I was like, I can treat the wounds on his feet, but I can't give him an IV in my living room, you know.
So she reached out to the Tacoma-Pierce County Humane Society to help.
This was him in my car when we were driving around waiting to go to the shelter.
Haley says initially she was worried that the shelter wouldn't have enough space to take in more animals. But the shelter said after seeing Tom's condition, workers would make room to treat him. The shelter also called on the community to donate to make sure other dogs like Tom have what they need to get through the holidays. And Haley says she already misses her new Christmas friend.
I am certainly invested in what happens to him because we kind of bonded in like half a day we were hanging out. He's my buddy.
Well, the past couple of days throughout the Coastal Empire and Low Country have certainly been overcast and very misty, very rainy as well. And we've been dealing with those conditions throughout the day today, seeing a little bit of a glimpse of sun there over the Savannah River. We're not expecting much sunshine, though, as we head throughout the rest of the afternoon and especially into the day tomorrow. We're still expecting more in terms of those clouds, but right now 66 degrees in and around Savannah. Light breeze out of the southeast around 5 miles per hour, so feeling a little bit sticky as it's advecting some of this really moist air from our south. But Storm Team 3 Viper radar, we do have a couple of showers, very light showers off to our north near Hampton, still moving through, also near the Beaufort area as well. Especially along the coastline, we're starting to see some fog development and very misty conditions as that wind is coming right off of the Atlantic Ocean. And we're going to see that fog start to develop as we go through the overnight hours and especially into the morning hours of tomorrow. But here's our rainfall totals with this storm. Around an inch in Savannah as well as Hilton Head. Off to our west in Statesboro, just a little bit under an inch, around a half an inch in Sylvania, and a little bit less as you work your way off to the south and west, around a tenth to a quarter of an inch in places like Glenville. So certainly some much needed rain. However, really bad timing with the holiday season that this storm had impacted us at. Temperatures across the region, upper 60s to around 70. Very warm, very humid day across the region. Temperatures running 5 to 10 degrees above normal. Darien, you're coming in at 74, 70 at the moment in Hinesville. So again, those are well above normal for this time of year. We're going to cool down into the low 60s, staying mild through the overnight hours thanks to that cloud cover acting as a blanket to kind of moderate our temperatures through the overnight. Maybe 1 or 2 more showers as we work our way through the early evening time frame. But overall, the next couple of days, we're going to see lots of sunshine return to the forecast as we get into Friday. Temperatures, though, going to be cooling off as a cold front works its way through. So timing things out, overcast skies, maybe 1 or 2 more showers overnight tonight. Fog is going to start to develop, though, for early tomorrow morning. And then as we head through the afternoon, that fog will burn off, and we'll see some peaks of sunshine out there. And temperature is going to get back up into the upper 60s to right around 70 degrees. So all in all, those rain chances going to start to fall as we head through the next couple of days, especially as we head into this weekend. High pressure is going to take control, so we can expect lots of cool sunshine as we head to the weekend. Tonight will be in the upper 50s to around 60 in many spots. We'll see that fog develop as well as we head through the late overnight hours, so make sure you're taking account for that as you're out on the roadways early tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, we'll get back up into the upper 60s to around 70. Again, we'll see that fog in the early morning hours with mostly cloudy skies. Marine forecast sees around 3 to 4 feet. Small craft advisories are still in effect. That 7-day forecast, lots of sunshine, but Christine, temperatures down into the 50s, waking up to near freezing. So you're going to need that extra layer as we head into this weekend.
Oh, and I was looking forward to maybe some warm weather for New Year's.
It doesn't look like it's happening,
well,
unfortunately.
No, Brian, I did notice in your forecast you said the word moist to describe weather conditions.
It's just been relentless moisture just the past couple of days in time for Christmas. It's certainly, not the greatest time to get outside, play with those new toys, for the kids, but we'll take it.
Well, we wish. All right. Well, coming up, we could take a look at some stories from our What's Good segment, and you won't want to miss those. All right, welcome back. Taking a look at what's good. History was made today. Cat history, that is. As one little feline set Salas Park, part of Boat Cruise, the annual Sydney to Hobart yacht race. Throughout the 78 years the race has run, there have been no official records on a cat on board until now. Ollie and his owner Bob Williams, a retired Navy officer, have sailed around the country for the past 5 years, with Williams describing Ollie as an experienced sailor. The two even made a trip across the Tasman Sea to New Zealand together. The duo and their co-skipper Chris Warren set off to Hobart on board the oldest boat in the race, the Sif VI. The trio don't expect to compete with the Super Maxis, who led the fleet out of Sydney's harbor, but they hope to arrive at Hobart before New Year's Eve. Thank you for joining us for First News at 4. Stay with us. WSAV News 3 at 5 is next.
We've had lots of shower activity across the coastal empire and low country the past couple of days. However, as we move through the next 3 days, sunshine is expected to return as we head through Thursday and into Friday, but those temperatures will drop down into the 50s. I'll have more details coming up in a few moments, but first, News 3 starts now.
Now on News 3 at 5, the Civil War Memorial statue in Savannah's Forsyth Park was spray painted over the weekend with pro-Palestinian rhetoric. We have reaction from tourists visiting the hostess city for the holidays. Plus, what locals have dubbed historic Pooler is getting a major facelift soon. What city officials say we can expect from the renovations. And we hear from local business owners who stayed open on Christmas Day. Why some are saying it paid off.
You're watching WSAV on your side. Now, WSAV News 3 at 5.
Good evening, I'm Christine Quayle. Tina and Ben have the night off. Thank you for joining us. First at 5, local businesses say the holiday shopping season has been very good to them, and it isn't over yet. Many people took part in some after Christmas shopping today at the Savannah Christmas Market. We spoke to local business owners about how the holiday season affected their sales.
A holiday tradition in Savannah, bringing all kinds of people to the hostess city.
This is our first time at the market. It's been amazing so far. We're super happy and excited to be here.
The day after Christmas, also known as Boxing Day, a day where people usually pack up all of the gifts they don't want and head to the mall, armed with their receipts. In Savannah, though, many people are instead choosing to shop local at the outdoor Savannah Christmas Market. Lots of them were out-of-towners, but vendors say that locals have been enjoying the fun as well.
It's actually a really good mix. I had never even come down here before I started working down here, and after being down here, I really love it because it's a good way to get your Christmas gifts in, but a lot of locals come down here and they're like, oh, I normally don't ever come down here, and they get down here and they start looking at everything, and it's like really nice and fun way to get into the community and everything like that.
With the Christmas season winding down, you might think business would have been slow today, but the walkways were still filled with shoppers, even on this rainy day. In fact, vendors tell me they're looking forward to even more business after the holiday.
The day after Christmas is usually a very busy day. It's usually a very good day as well. Lots of people are spending their holiday money or their Christmas money that they got, and it's just a great opportunity for people to be able to explore and share and learn.
From talking to the local businesses down here, actually everyone has told me that this week will be really busy and awesome for sales. So I am actually looking forward to a lot more sales.
The Savannah Christmas Market is open until January 1st, which means you still have plenty of time to head down to River Street and meet some of Savannah's local artists.
A 13-year-old boy is in custody tonight after a deadly shooting in Glenn County on Christmas Eve. Police say 29-year-old Deshaun Harrison was found shot on Fairman Avenue. He later died at a hospital in Jacksonville. Investigators say the suspect ran away from the scene, but was later caught by police. The teenager is now charged with murder. He's being held in the Regional Youth Detention Center in Waycross. And in Savannah, police have not caught the person who graffitied the Civil War Memorial Monument in Forsyth Park. It still has pro-Palestine messages written on it with red spray paint. We sent WSAV's Eden Hodges out to see what people had to say about it.
That red graffiti is visible from the roads along Forsyth Park. I saw dozens of people stopping to take pictures of the controversy that's happening right here in the heart of Savannah.
Free Gaza, free Palestine, no Christmas in Bethlehem. These messages appeared on a Confederate monument in Forsyth Park early Christmas Eve.
I feel that the kind of people that did this graffiti are the kind of people that make us feel that we have to hire armed guards to protect us.
Rebecca and Richard Howard are visiting from Florida. They tell me their synagogue back home has ramped up security after Hamas attacks began.
I'm strongly against it. I am very upset about the destruction and death in Gaza, but I am Jewish, and I think that a lot of the sympathy for Hamas and for some of the Palestinians, certainly not all of them, is misguided and misunderstood.
The Howards tell me they can't appreciate this form of protest like other more peaceful methods.
There is nothing radical about aspects like this when hundreds of people are dying over there, and there's so much evidence of that and just videos coming out that it's like, to be offended by this, come on.
Catherine Bauer is a local studying studio art at Armstrong. She tells me her studies give her a different perspective.
Art is all about talking about your opinion and getting it out there, and especially when there is truth and things that need to be said. I think that graffiti is something that it needs to happen.
All four sides of the monument were defaced, something Bauer says she's noticed happening pretty often.
Especially with the holidays, we're kind of putting it to the side, And having something like this where people are walking by it, people are seeing it on like a monument like this, it's really important.
Police have not been able to catch the suspect, but they will be facing vandalism charges.
The City of Savannah's Park and Tree Department actually handles graffiti removal. People from the city tell me it hasn't been cleaned yet because many of their workers are still enjoying their holiday. Eden Hodges, WSAV News 3, on your side.
All right, thank you, Eden. Now, be careful when you're out on the roads. Georgia's Department of Public Safety just released some grim statistics showing there have been at least 14 traffic deaths in Georgia since the Christmas holiday travel period began on Friday. A few of those crashes happening in Hinesville and Waycross. In addition to increased traffic, the end of the year is also the time when officers see an increase in the number of impaired drivers on Georgia's roads. To help make sure everyone gets home safe this new year, the law firm Farah & Farah is bringing back its Safe Ride Home program in Savannah and several other cities. You can get a free $50 Uber credit to get yourself home. This will be available from 6 p.m. on December 31st until New Year's Day. You can register ahead of time for one of these ride credits starting tomorrow by visiting the Farah & Farah website. And don't forget, AAA is also offering its Tow to Go program. January 6th, when called, AAA will send a tow truck to take you and your car to a safe location within a 10-mile radius for free. You do not have to be a AAA member to use the service, but for this program, you can't schedule a ride in advance. Following up now, there are some new developments taking shape in Pooler. The Main Street Master Plan has been approved by City Council, and WSAV's Sarah Smith spoke to Mayor Rebecca Benton about what we can expect.
The purpose of the Main Street Master Plan is to upgrade what the city calls Pooler's historic district, while also bringing more foot traffic and business to the area. It is a vision for the Main Street corridor stretching from Highway 80 to I-95 and a little into Pooler Parkway. The goal, preserving old Pooler and inviting tourists, residents, and new businesses to fill rundown buildings. Mayor Rebecca Benton tells News 3 incentives are expected with business permits at a cheaper price than elsewhere in the city. According to city leaders, nothing has been rezoned yet. The city held multiple public hearings, and Benton says they considered many of the residents' concerns.
It's a whole plan about how that should be, because we had a number of hearings with the participants from the public, and one thing that they asked for were crosswalks, because it's hard to cross U.S. Highway 80.
We do not have a timeline for the project yet, but we do know it is a private development. Coming up tonight on News 3 at 6, we'll hear from a local business owner about how this project will impact area businesses. Reporting in Pooler, Sarah Smith, WSAV News 3, on your side.
Looking ahead now, Tybee Island residents will soon see their water bills go up. Starting January 1st, next Monday, the city will increase costs for water and sewer by 7%. The city tells us the increased revenue will be used for, quote, replacements of sewer and water mains, water tower improvements, and upgrades to odor control and wastewater treatment. It's also important to note water and sewer costs can be even higher during what is considered peak season on Tybee, June 1st to August 31st. Meanwhile, people who live on Davuski Island are going to see some big changes to their ferry service in the new year. The only way to get on and off Davuski Island is by boat, and right now the dock is at Buckingham Landing. However, the county is in negotiations for a new ferry contract for next year, and a court order requires the dock on Hilton Head to be moved to a new location. The ferry will begin departing from C.C. Haig Junior Public Boat Landing on Pinckney Island starting January 1st. And while the situation is temporary, it may create more traffic in the area and more of a commute for some people who regularly use the ferry. In a WSAV military report now, Old Fort Jackson in Savannah is offering some special programming this week. The fort has become known for daily cannon firings. Usually, they fire the smaller cannon, the 6 or 12-pound cannon. On Friday, they're going to fire the largest cannon that they have. It's the 9-inch Dahlgren cannon, and it's an original cannon that was cast in 1857. They've reinforced the inside with stainless steel to protect it. And then on Saturday, the fort will welcome the 4th Georgia Continentals for a special presentation. They're a group of historians that have done incredible research on accurately portraying the lives of the Patriots and British troops during the Revolutionary War.
Thanks to their help, we will be able to give a much more complete and impressive display of the weapons and tactics that were used in 1778. This is an exciting year because this will be the 245th anniversary when the British captured Savannah in the Revolutionary War. So we're so excited that they're going to help us more completely tell that story.
Old Fort Jackson is located off of President Street in Savannah, and it's one of 6 historic sites managed by the Coastal Heritage Society. And still ahead at 5, after a weekend of deadly strikes in Gaza, top officials from Israel and the U.S. are set to meet. The meeting comes after the Israeli Prime Minister vowed to keep fighting until Hamas is destroyed, despite global calls for a ceasefire.
And after a couple of days of rain, we will be drying out as we head through the overnight hours. More details coming up.
At 5:30, the Murdaugh saga continues, while the Colton County Clerk of Court is being accused of plagiarism. You're watching WSAV News 3 at 5, and we'll be right back. Welcome back. Here's a live look outside now from our Savannah cam. Now, Brian, it looks like, there's some traffic piling up and it's still pretty rainy. So tell us a little bit more. In about 2 minutes, making headlines this evening after a weekend of deadly strikes in Gaza, a senior advisor to the Israeli Prime Minister is set to meet with State Department officials at the White House. NBC's Chris Pallone reports from Washington.
After some of the deadliest days in Gaza since the war began, a top advisor to Israel's prime minister is in Washington. Ron Dermer, a former Israeli ambassador to the U.S., meeting with Secretary of State Antony Blinken and National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan at the White House. It comes after the Hamas-run Palestinian Health Ministry says Israeli airstrikes killed at least 100 Palestinians since Christmas, many of them in this central Gaza refugee camp. The violence increasing calls from around the world for a ceasefire. The UN says the entire population in Gaza is food insecure and facing famine.
The only way we can provide the scale of humanitarian assistance that's needed is if the fighting stops, if the attacks stop, if we can have safe access to deliver scaled aid.
Families of Israelis being held hostage by Hamas heckled Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in the parliament. But in a surprise visit to the war zone Monday, Netanyahu remained defiant, telling troops in Gaza, "We don't stop. This war continues to the end."
Well, look, there's no question this is a tragic, complicated situation, and it's going to get worse.
Here in the U.S., protests demanding a ceasefire continue. Police arrested 6 people during clashes with protesters in New York on Christmas Day. Chris Pallone, NBC News.
Storm Team 3 meteorologist Brian Michigan here with a look at your forecast. Very foggy down on the islands. Tybee Island you're taking a live view of right now. You can see, well, you can't really see much at all as you take a look outside the camera, as we do have that fog starting to develop along the coastline, and that will spread its way inland as we go through the overnight hours. But right now, 65 degrees. Again, those foggy conditions as we do have lots of moisture in the low levels of our atmosphere, and very calm winds as well, only out of the east-southeast at around 5 miles per hour. Dew points in the 60s, the middle 60s, so feeling a bit sticky out there if you're out and about. Still dealing with some light showers off to our north, but otherwise we're really going to start to wind down the rain as we head throughout the next couple of hours. However, conditions will still remain misty out there as we do have that fog settling in to the region, as well as this flow that is out of the south. So that's going to give us some more moisture into our atmosphere as we go through the next couple of hours. Our storm totals when it comes to that rainfall, just over an inch in the past 24 to 36 hours here in Savannah, over an inch in Hilton Head as well. Statesboro, about an inch of rain, and Sylvania, just around half an inch of rain. This is certainly much needed rainfall as we are still running around 5 inches below normal for this time of year. But as you can see, some of the heaviest bouts of rain along I-95 and then down I-16 as well. Just to the north of it, seeing some heavier totals from this storm as well, but we will begin to dry out as we head through the overnight hours. Temperatures, they're mild in the upper 60s for a lot of spots, 70 still for Jessup. Darien, you're at 71, 70 at the moment in Alma, and those temperatures aren't going to fall far as we head through the overnight hours, only into the low 60s for some spots, otherwise upper 50s as that cold front pushes its way through. We'll see 1 or 2 more showers as we go through 6, 7 o'clock, but otherwise staying mostly cloudy. However, fog, again, will start to develop going through the overnight hours. But at least the next couple of days, we will start to see more peaks of sunshine for your Wednesday. Thursday and Friday, that's when things really start to clear out, especially for your day on Friday. Lots of sunshine. However, temperatures only topping out in the middle 50s as that cold front pushes its way through. It's going to get a little bit breezy out of the west, around 10 to 15 miles per hour, and that's going to usher in a much cooler and drier air mass as we head into this upcoming weekend. So again, timing things out, going through the early overnight period, mostly cloudy skies, and we'll start to see that fog develop, maybe a few more lingering showers, but overall, as we go through the overnight time frame, we will be drying out when it comes to those showers, but still remaining pretty wet out there as that fog will settle in to the region. Staying overcast as we head throughout Wednesday morning, and then into the afternoon, we'll turn partly cloudy. A couple of peaks of sunshine certainly possible. Temperatures upper 60s to around 70 as we go throughout the afternoon, and even into the evening hours of your Wednesday, just seeing a few clouds out there as well, and we'll start to see more sun as we get into Thursday and then eventually into your day on Friday. So those rain chances going to really start to fall off as we head through the next couple of days. High pressure is going to take control, so we're not going to see anything in terms of rain as we head into this next upcoming weekend. However, conditions will be a whole lot chillier. At least for tonight, temperatures off to the north of I-16, I think upper 50s. However, south of it, that's where we'll be closer to the middle 50s. Along the coastline, likely staying around that 60-degree mark, and we will have those spotty showers lasting throughout the early overnight period, but fog will be developing as we go through the late overnight hours and into the morning of tomorrow. Afternoon, though, we'll see just a mix of sun and clouds. Temperatures are going to be in the upper 60s to around 70. West wind around 5 to 10 miles per hour. So luckily drying off as we head into the day tomorrow. That marine forecast sees 3 to 4 feet. The small craft advisory, though, is still in effect. That 7-day forecast, cloud cover for Wednesday and Thursday. Friday, Saturday into Sunday, lots of sunshine. However, it will be quite a chilly stretch. We'll be waking up to temperatures in the middle 30s with those high temperatures for the afternoon only getting into the middle 50s. So Christine, it will be a couple of days of chilly conditions as we head into New Year's Eve, and then New Year's Day, it looks like we'll have that chance for spotty showers, but temperatures still going to only get into the upper 50s. So it looks like we'll be dealing with a pretty chilly stretch as we go into 2024.
Oh, well, I mean, at least it'll be sunnier. At least it won't be raining.
That's
for New Year's Eve,
we gotta take what we can get.
Seriously, at this point.
Yeah, at
Do you
this
have
point,
any fun plans for New Year's Eve?
I don't know. I'll be in New Jersey, so we'll see.
Both of us are from New Jersey,
There
our
we go.
favorite place.
We'll see what we can do.
Absolutely. Well, sounds fun.
Yes.
All right. Well, Christmas is over, and for many of us, that means it's time to get rid of a lot of boxes, wrapping paper, even your tree. Bring One for the Chipper kicked off today at Savannah Airport. You can stop by the airport's recycling lot on Agate Drive until January 7th. Just be sure before dropping off your tree that you take off all the decorations. Trees will be chipped into mulch that will then be used throughout the airport's property. And the Lowcountry also has a recycling drop-off points. Beaufort County residents with convenience center decals can bring their Christmas trees to any center during normal business hours. For residents who don't have decals, items can be dropped off at Shanklin Road in Beaufort or Simonsville Road in Bluffton. Again, remove all decorations before you drop off a tree and be sure to flatten cardboard boxes. There will be bins for trees, cardboard boxes, wrapping paper, bubble wrap, and leftover cooking grease, really anything, you name it. So for more information on locations and hours, call 843-255-2736. And today marks the first day of Kwanzaa, and the Plant Riverside District is hosting some special events to celebrate. A Kwanzaa celebration with master storyteller Lillian Grant Baptiste is happening today. The event begins at 5:30 p.m. at Beethoven's Terrace in Plant Riverside, and a reception will follow. Everyone is invited to come by and share the spirit while embracing the rich cultural history that this holiday represents. Also kicking off today, the 4th annual Kwanzaa Crawl. The event showcases local restaurants, artists, and vendors from Savannah's African-American community. A different restaurant will host the celebration each night, and tonight it'll be B. Nicole Bistro on East Victory Drive. Donations and proceeds collected throughout the week will benefit Save Our Youth Savannah. You can find more details at WSAV.com. And coming up, Christmas may be over, but it's never too late to get someone you love a great gift. We'll tell you how you can make any high school football fan very happy with some Blitz Border Bowl tickets. You're watching WSAV News 3 at 5. Welcome back. Now, you still have a chance to ring in the new year as a multi-millionaire. No one matched all the numbers to win the Powerball jackpot last night, but lottery officials say one person in Georgia claimed a $2 million prize. Check your tickets. Here's a look at last night's winning numbers. That's going to be 5, 12, 20, 24, 29, and the red Powerball was 4. The new jackpot is now $685 million with an estimated cash value of about $332 million. Still not bad. The next drawing is tomorrow night, and you can watch it right here on WSAV. A Riverside tradition, raising funds to help a local charity. Savannah's Boat Parade of Lights announcing that it raised over $10,000 to benefit Greenbrier Children's Center. Although the popular Thanksgiving tradition is free to the public, sponsors and donors managed to raise $10 grand for Greenbrier, which has been helping Chatham County children since 1949. The center operates early learning centers, a family preservation program, and an emergency shelter for abused, neglected, or homeless children. And some cuteness for you on this day. Zoo Atlanta got a special package in time for Christmas. Kiyazi, the southern white rhino, gave birth to a calf on Christmas Eve. The newborn is the first southern white rhino ever born at Zoo Atlanta. The zoo says the calf appears to be healthy and strong. Mom and baby will be bonding behind the scenes before entering the rhino habitat. The Christmas gift giving may be over, but it's not too late to get someone you love an awesome present. And we have just the thing, especially for someone who loves high school football. Tickets are on sale right now for the Blitz Border Bowl. It's the ultimate showdown between the Coastal Empire and the Low Country. The game kicks off on Saturday, January 13th at Memorial Stadium. Tickets are $15, and this event will benefit the Ronald McDonald House charity. We have a link to purchase tickets at wsav.com/Blitz Border Bowl. And coming up, the U.S. Coast Guard has officially called off the search for a missing cruise ship passenger after they went overboard off the coast of Charleston. We hear from someone aboard the ship when the alarm bell started ringing. WSAV News 3 at 5:30 is next. Ahead this half hour, on the day after Christmas, tensions are increasing between the U.S. and Iran. Our Capitol reporter brings us the latest details about recent airstrikes. Plus, the Murdaugh saga continues, why the Colton County Clerk of Court is being accused of plagiarism.
Now we're taking a live look of River Street. You can see very overcast skies out there. A little bit of water on the camera as we've had some rain showers over the past couple of days and throughout the day today. Very misty conditions continuing early this evening. We're also going to start seeing some fog start to develop, especially near the coastline, but spreading inland as we head through the overnight hours. So make sure you are staying safe on the roadways, especially as you head outside tomorrow for that early morning commute. But Storm Team 3 Viper radar for the most part is quiet. We're seeing a few pockets of some showers that are just departing our viewing area off to the north of Hampton and Beaufort as well. So we're to overall start to dry out. Maybe 1 or 2 more showers are possible, especially along the coastline as we go through the next couple of hours as this cold front pushes its way through the coastal empire and low country. We're still going to see some cloud cover start to move into the region for the day tomorrow, but overall as we head towards the end of the week, this area of high pressure is going to start to take more control, and that's what's going to help to return that sunshine to the region, especially for Friday and into this weekend as we head into the start of 2024. So here's our rain chances that go through the overnight period. Again, staying on the low side, and then as we go through tomorrow morning, we should be all said and done when it comes to the rain. So luckily, we're going to start the process of drying out after a couple of days of rainfall. But throughout the day on Wednesday, we will start out mostly cloudy, but a few peaks of sunshine are possible as we head into the afternoon hours. Temperatures in the upper 60s to around 70. So once again, we will be above normal when it comes to those temperatures for one more day until that cold front moves through later this week. So again, city by city look, temperatures upper 60s to around 70 in many locations. High temperature forecast for tomorrow in Savannah around 69 degrees, 68 for Glenville. And remember, we will have that chance for some morning fog, so we will see some visibility issues out on the roadways tomorrow. We'll have another look at our weather coming up in just a little bit. Christine?
All right, thank you, Brian. Now from our Washington newsroom. On the day after Christmas, tensions are increasing between the U.S. and Iran. WSAV's Basil John reports.
The president ordered the United States military to strike back against Iranian-supported militants in Iraq. The airstrikes were retaliation for a Christmas Day drone attack on a U.S. airbase in northern Iraq. 3 U.S. service members were hurt, 1 critically. National Security Council spokesperson Adrian Watson said in a statement, the president directed strikes against 3 locations, focused specifically on unmanned aerial drone activities. And U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said the U.S. will not hesitate to take necessary action to defend the United States, our troops, and our interests. Iraqi officials say the U.S. attacks killed 1 militant and injured 18 others. This comes at a time when the U.S. is trying to prevent the Israel-Hamas war from spreading beyond Gaza. On Tuesday in Iraq, anti-U.S. protesters took to the streets in Baghdad. They carried what they said was the body of the militant who was killed by the U.S. jets. Protesters called the airstrike a crime committed by America.
Now in news from South Carolina, the Coast Guard is suspending their search for a missing cruise ship passenger off the coast of Charleston. Officials say they searched more than 1,500 square miles for nearly 8 hours on Christmas Eve, but they had no luck. Authorities tell us the passenger has been identified as 41-year-old man. We're hearing from one passenger who says he was at dinner in the moments leading up to the incident.
And it was about 7 or 7:15 that the announcements came on, and it just said, Oscar, 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 starboard. And we were wondering what was going on with that. And we also noticed that all the staff, they made a face kind of at each other. They reacted to that news, but overall, no one knew what was going on at first. Then they did another announcement explaining what happened. A few minutes later,
anyone who thinks they can help is asked to call the Charleston sector of the U.S. Coast Guard, and this is a developing story, so we'll keep you updated as we learn more information. And continuing our coverage now, the South Carolina court clerk who oversaw the trial of convicted murderer Alec Murdaugh and is at the center of a jury tampering claim is now being accused of plagiarism by the co-author of her book. The accusations accuse Colton County Clerk of Court Rebecca Hill lifted passages in the beginning of her book titled Behind the Doors of Justice, The Murdaugh Murders, from a draft of an ABC News article. Neil Gordon, the co-author of the book, released a statement today saying he was, quote, blindsided by her actions. The book was originally published in July, but officials say further publication has now been stopped. Murdaugh is serving 2 consecutive life sentences for killing his wife Maggie and their younger son Paul back in June 2021. Last month, he was given a 27-year sentence after pleading guilty to 22 counts of financial crimes against his clients. And Vice President Kamala Harris is set to visit Myrtle Beach next month. According to Harris's office, the Vice President will speak at the 7th Episcopal District AME Church Women's Missionary Retreat on January 6th. Vice President Harris's visit comes less than a month before the South Carolina Democratic primary, which will be on February 3rd. And in news around Georgia, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene was the victim of another swatting incident at her Georgia home on Christmas Day. The Republican representative made the announcement in a post on X. Authorities say that a person in New York made a call to the suicide hotline, claiming that he had heard shots had shot his girlfriend at Greene's address. The caller also threatened to kill himself. Police then contacted Greene's local security liaison, but her security team eventually decided that officers didn't need to respond to her home. And it may seem like the plot of one of the Home Alone movies, but this next story was all too real for one Florida family. Spirit Airlines gave a grandmother of a 6-year-old the scare of her life after that child was sent on the wrong flight, alone. Instead of flying from Philadelphia to Fort Myers, Florida, he was sent to Orlando before making it home for Christmas.
I ran inside the plane to the flight attendant and I asked her, "Where's my grandson? He was handed over to you at Philadelphia." She said, "No, I had no kids with me."
Spirit Airlines apologized to the family in a statement and said, quote, "The child was always under the care and supervision of Spirit team member." In the South Carolina Midlands, the Jackson First Alert Rescue Squad has a new project to help patients in nursing homes get out and see Christmas lights. As Audrey Dickherber reports, they transported a patient from an Allendale nursing home out into the community just to see the lights.
As we get older, we tend to realize that Christmas isn't about presents. It's about making those memories with our loved ones and being with our family.
It's a memory Betty Miller will hold on to forever.
Bedridden or bed-confined patients, whether they be at home or a nursing home, sometimes they don't get those memories anymore. Like a family, dinner, cooking all together. They don't get to experience that and enjoy that anymore. So we would like to give them at least one memory, one night in the holiday season where they can have that special moment in memory with their families.
But even when family isn't able to make it, they make sure to treat you like family.
With our Christmas program I'm reaching out to the people who created so many Christmases for so many other people. Christmas was special for me specifically because of my grandmother. She was the heart of my family. We all came to her house for Christmas. So I think about people like my grandma when I'm reaching out to someone like Miss Betty to see if she would like to enjoy some Christmas festivities.
And they are hoping to expand the program, offering this to even more people next year.
The goal would be that other ambulance services like ours would see this program and want to reach out and be involved next year. I would like, today we had one stretcher in our little slot there. I would like in the future to see that section for disabled customers to be full.
What a wonderful story. And now to a consumer report. If some of your holiday gifts just didn't hit the mark this year, you might be thinking about making some returns. Well, a recent survey found that 40% of people said they will likely return at least one gift this holiday season. NBC's Erin Morgan explains.
Retailers estimated that almost 18% of merchandise that was sold during last year's holiday season would be returned. The estimated cost for these returns about $171 billion. Experts say some retailers have made some changes to their return policies, including adding fees and tweaking the return window. The policy can sometimes be hidden in the fine print of receipts, so experts recommend knowing what you're signing up for before making a purchase.
In South Carolina, refunds and exchanges, they're not required by law. So really you want to know the store policy before you make a purchase. That way you have a full understanding. Are you going to be able to get a refund, or is an exchange going to be available? So you just want to make sure that you understand the store policy, number one.
Chris Hadley, the president of the BBB serving Central South Carolina and Charleston, says that goes for purchases made online as well. This year, experts expect online spending to increase 7 to 9% compared to last year for a total of around $275 billion. This year, some retailers have put in place return by mail fees, charging you to return products bought online. The BBB recommends if you have a return to make, doing so in person if possible. And most importantly, things can get lost easily in all the wrapping paper and fun, so make sure you are keeping important papers in a safe spot.
Try to keep as much information that you can so that whenever you do make the return, when you try to make the return, it's just going to make it easier for you. So before you start cleaning up after the big day of opening presents, make sure that you're keeping your warranties and your receipts so that you've got them if you do need to try to get a refund or exchange.
Still ahead at 5:30, we have the rankings of the most popular gifts that were under the Christmas tree this year. That's next on News 3 at 5:30. Stay with us. Welcome back. Now, in what's trending tonight, if you don't want to waste your Christmas gift dollars, pay attention. Here's the National Retail Federation's list of the year's most popular gifts. For girls, dolls are still the big thing, especially Barbie. So is makeup. Legos are also popular. In fact, for boys, Legos lead the list. Then come Hot Wheels and other toy cars. The top 5 gift categories this year are clothing, gift cards, toys, books, and video games. And of course, food and candy. Who doesn't love that? If you watched the Chief Rangers game here on Christmas, you didn't see this version. This is what the Nickmas game looked like. When it aired on Nickelodeon, it featured kid and family-friendly effects like slime cannons firing after a touchdown and had its own take on the Taylor Swift-Travis Kelce romance. It looked different, but the result was the same. Las Vegas upset Kansas City 20-14.
we've had a pretty wet day across the coastal empire and low country with scattered showers earlier in the day. However, we've turned mostly cloudy throughout the region as we headed through the afternoon. Seeing a little bit of clearing off in the distance there, but overall low clouds are developing. We also have some pretty dense fog in some portions of our area, especially near the coastline, places like Tybee Island and even Hilton Head, seeing some of that fog. But right now, 65 degrees, east-southeast wind, around 5 miles per hour, so pretty calm out there at the moment. Storm Team 3 Viper radar, we're quiet across the region. We do have a little bit of shower activity that is just offshore, pushing its way north though, so it won't be affecting us over the next couple of hours. We could see 1 or 2 more showers trying to move their way through as we head through the overnight hours, but overall I think we'll be, for the most part, drying up across the region, and we'll be continuing that trend as we head through the rest of the week. But this storm overall brought around an inch of rain in many spots in and around Savannah, just over an inch as well in Hilton Head. Just to our west in Statesboro, almost an inch of rainfall, and a little bit less in Sylvania at around a ½ inch of rain. So all in all, pretty widespread 1 inch of rain amounts, and this is certainly some much needed rainfall as we're still a couple inches below normal for this time of year. However, this has certainly helped. Unfortunately though, with the timing coming right around Christmas. But the good news is it looks like New Year's at least will be mostly clear when it comes to that precipitation. Temperature-wise, we're still in the middle to even upper 60s, 70s still off to our south, Alma at 70, as well as Jessup in 64 degrees, and Hilton Head 65 at the moment in Savannah. And temperatures won't fall all that much as we go through the next couple of hours, down into the lower 60s by 10 o'clock. Again, maybe 1 or 2 more showers over the next couple of hours, but otherwise we will be drying out and remaining overcast for most of this evening. Next couple of days, we'll see a few peaks of sunshine as we go throughout the next couple of days. The sunniest of the 3 days looks to be Friday, but temperatures will be down into the 50s as our cold front moves its way through. It'll also be breezy out of the west at around 10 to 15 miles per hour. So timing things out, again, we'll stay overcast as we go through the next couple of hours. That fog will start to form along the coastline, and we could see a few more showers pop up here as we go through the next couple of hours. Overall, though, we'll be drying out as we get into early Wednesday morning. We'll still be dealing with that fog throughout the morning hours, though, so some dense spots out there. Make sure you're taking it slow on the roadways for that early morning commute. Through the afternoon, we'll see some areas of clearing. Temperatures upper 60s to around 70, and we'll keep that cloud cover in place as we go through Wednesday night. But Thursday, we will start to decrease that cloud cover as the cold front really pushes its way through. Also dropping our rain chances. High pressure will take control as we head into this weekend, so it looks like a dry stretch of weather is set to unfold. For at least tonight, temperatures in the upper 50s to the north of I-16 and along the coastline. Otherwise, we'll be in the middle 50s off to the south and west. Tomorrow will be in the upper 60s to around 70. Remember, we have that morning fog to contend with. Otherwise, we'll have afternoon cloud cover and a little bit of sunshine peeking through there. Marine forecast seas 3 to 4 feet. Small craft advisory still in effect. 7-day forecast. We'll have a lot of sunshine as we head into this weekend.
All right, well, sunshine is a nice thing. It looks good, but
yeah,
it's going to be cold.
It will be a little bit chilly. Temperatures in the 50s. You're going to want that extra layer, especially if you're doing anything for New Year's Eve into the new year. New Year, we also have the chance for showers. So starting off 2024 on the wet note, but at least the next couple of days we'll have sun.
That sounds pretty good to me. All right, so coming up, tax season is quickly approaching. We're on your side with tips on how to make this stressful time of year just a little bit easier. It's time for your Georgia Carolina Business Brief. Let's start with a look at stocks. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, NASDAQ, and the S&P 500, you can see local stock numbers at the bottom of your screen. A federal judge has ruled Twitter, now known as X, must pay its employees millions of dollars they were promised. A judge ruled Friday that the social media giant violated a contract between the company and its employees. The company has been accused by employees of age discrimination and discrimination against employees with disabilities. Employees have also claimed the company failed to give advance notice of mass layoffs. X no longer has a media relations department and could not be reached for comment on the judge's ruling. It's unclear how many employees may be affected by the ruling. And tax season is right around the corner, so we're taking a look at what you need to know to be ready. Officials say now it's time to start rethinking your year to make things easier when it comes time to actually do your taxes. If you started a new business or had any major life events and even picked up a side gig, these changes will have a major impact on how you fill out your forms this year. And small business owners in fields centered around driving and rideshare apps can claim deductions on mileage as well as things purchased with your own money to facilitate your work, like maybe stickers for your car or hot and cold bags. Tax experts say make sure you have all relevant paperwork with you when you come in to make sure you're getting the tax refund that you deserve. Coming up on News 3 at 6, a Civil War monument in Forsyth Park was recently spray painted. We have reaction from both locals and tourists. WSAV News 3 at 6 is next.
Check, check, check. 1, 2, 3. Hello.
We have been experiencing a wet stretch of weather the past couple of days, but things will start to dry out as we head throughout the next 3 days, with temperatures returning down into the 50s as a cold front moves through. Also, sunshine returning into the forecast. More details coming up in a few moments, but first, News 3 starts now.
Now on News 3 at 6, local businesses celebrating after a very Merry Christmas. How you can still get some holiday deals. Plus, it was a deadly holiday weekend for Georgia drivers. What local groups are doing to keep our roads safe. First, a Savannah monument to Confederate soldiers vandalized. What people are saying about the controversy.
You're watching WSAV on your side. Now, WSAV News 3 at 6.
Good evening, I'm Christine Quayle. Tina and Ben have the night off. Thank you for joining us. Police are looking for a person who graffitied a Confederate monument this weekend. You can still see the pro-Palestine messages on the statue in Forsyth Park. We sent WSAV's Eden Hodges out to see what people had to say about it.
That red graffiti is visible from the roads along Forsyth Park. I saw dozens of people stopping to take pictures of the controversy that's happening right here in the heart of Savannah.
Free Gaza, free Palestine, no Christmas in Bethlehem. These messages appeared on a Confederate monument in Forsyth Park early Christmas Eve.
I feel that the kind of people that did this graffiti are the kind of people that make us feel that we have to hire armed guards to protect us.
Rebecca and Richard Howard are visiting from Florida. They tell me their synagogue back home has ramped up security after Hamas attacks began.
I'm strongly against it. I am very upset about the destruction and death in Gaza, but I am Jewish, and I think that a lot of the sympathy for Hamas and for some of the Palestinians, certainly not all of them, is misguided and misunderstood.
The Howards tell me they can't appreciate this form of protest like other more peaceful methods.
There is nothing radical about aspects like this when hundreds of people are dying over there, and there's so much evidence of that and just videos coming out that it's like, to be offended by this, come on.
Catherine Bauer is a local studying studio art at Armstrong. She tells me her studies give her a different perspective.
Art is all about talking about your opinion and getting it out there, and especially when there is like truth and things that need to be said. I think that graffiti is something that it needs to happen.
All four sides of the monument were defaced, something Bauer says she's noticed happening pretty often.
Especially with the holidays, we're kind of putting it to the side, and having something like this where people are walking by it, people are seeing it on like a monument like this, it's really important.
Police have not been able to catch the suspect, but they will be facing vandalism charges.
The City of Savannah's Park and Tree Department handles graffiti removal. People from the city tell me it hasn't been cleaned off yet because many of the workers are still enjoying their holiday. Eden Hodges, WSAV News 3, on your side.
Thank you so much, Eden. A 13-year-old boy is in custody tonight after a deadly shooting in Glenn County. On Christmas Eve, police say 29-year-old Deshaun Harrison was found shot on Fairman Avenue. He later died at a hospital in Jacksonville. According to investigators, the suspect ran away from the scene, but was later caught by police. The teenager is now charged with murder. He's being held in the Regional Youth Detention Center in Waycross. Meanwhile, a man and a woman are in the hospital after another shooting on Christmas night, this time in Burton. Investigators say the victims were driving on Lexus Lane when they were shot and by someone in another vehicle. The woman was shot and the man was hit by glass and debris. Both are expected to be okay, but anyone with information about this shooting is asked to call Crime Stoppers of the Low Country at 843-554-1111. Following up now, the Main Street Master Plan has been approved by City Council. WSAV's Sarah Smith spoke with a local business in the area about how this can impact them and other businesses.
The goal of the Main Street Master Plan is to upgrade what the city calls historic Pooler. One local business hopes this will bring more customers to their counter.
Any foot traffic, any business is great for small local businesses like us. We need all the business that we can get.
Jessica Brown is the general manager of the small business Stir. She says they mainly rely on word of mouth, but she hopes the Main Street Master Plan can help bring in business.
I think because we are a little hidden, adding crosswalks and foot traffic people can see us is going to be a great thing for Pooler and other small businesses.
It is a vision for the Main Street corridor stretching from Highway 80 to I-95 and a little into Pooler Parkway. The goal is to preserve old Pooler and invite tourists, residents, and new businesses to fill rundown buildings. A resident as well, Brown thinks the preservation of historic Pooler is a beautiful thing, but she hopes traffic improvements are on the way.
If I ever do go into Pooler, around the Tanger outlets and around that one strip of Pooler Parkway and Benton, that's a major traffic high area.
Mayor Rebecca Benton tells News 3 incentives are expected, with business permits at a cheaper price than elsewhere in the city. According to city leaders, nothing has been rezoned yet. The city did hold multiple public hearings, and Benton says they considered many of the residents' concerns. It is her hope that Pooler will continue to grow as long as businesses obey ordinances.
I hope Pooler will continue to be a safe and growing city. It wouldn't bother me too much if the growth slowed down, because again, we don't ask them to come. If they fit our ordinances, the developments can come.
According to Mayor Benton, we do not have a timeline for this project, but we do know it is a private development. Reporting in Pooler, Sarah Smith, WSAV News 3, on your side.
Thank you, Sarah. Now, be careful when you're out on the roads. Georgia's Department of Public Safety just released some grim statistics showing there have been at least 14 traffic deaths in Georgia since the Christmas holiday travel period began on Friday. A few of those crashes happening in Hinesville and Waycross. In addition to increased traffic, the end of the year is also the time when officers see an increase in the number of impaired drivers on Georgia's roads. To help make sure everyone gets home safe this new year, the law firm Farah & Farah is bringing back its Safe Ride Home program in Savannah and several other cities. You can get a free $50 Uber credit to get yourself home, and this will be available from 6 p.m. on December 31st until New Year's Day. You can register ahead of time for one of these ride credits starting tomorrow by visiting the Farah & Farah website. And don't forget, AAA is also offering its Tow to Go program. January 6th, when called, AAA will send a tow truck to take you and your car to a safe location within a 10-mile radius for free. You do not have to be a AAA member to use the service, but for this program, you can't schedule a ride in advance. And looking ahead now, Tybee Island residents will soon see their water bills go up. Starting January 1st, next Monday, the city will increase costs for water and sewer by 7%. The city tells us the increased revenue will be used for, quote, replacements of sewer and water mains, water tower improvements, and upgrades to odor control and wastewater treatment. And it's also important to note water and sewer costs can be even higher during what is considered peak season on Tybee. That's June 1st to August 31st. And meanwhile, people who live on Tofusky Island are going to see some major changes to their ferry service in the new year. The only way to get on and off Tofusky is by boat, and right now the dock is at Buckingham Landing. However, the county is in negotiations for a new ferry contract for next year, and a court order requires the dock on Hilton Head to be moved to a new location. The ferry will begin departing from C.C. Haig Jr. Public Boat Landing on Pinckney Island starting January 1st. And while the situation is temporary, it may create more traffic in the area and more of a commute for some people who regularly use the ferry. Local businesses say the holiday shopping season has been very good to them, and it isn't over yet. Many people took part in some after Christmas shopping today at the Savannah Christmas Market.
A holiday tradition in Savannah, bringing all kinds of people to the hostess city.
This is our first time at the market. It's been amazing so far. We're super happy and excited to be here.
The day after Christmas, also known as Boxing Day, a day where people usually pack up all of the gifts they don't want and head to the mall, armed with their receipts. In Savannah, though, many people are instead choosing to shop local at the outdoor Savannah Christmas Market. Lots of them were out-of-towners, but vendors say that locals have been enjoying the fun as well.
It's actually a really good mix. I had never even come down here before I started working down here, and after being down here, I really love it because it's a good way to get your Christmas gifts in, but a lot of locals come down here and they're like, oh, I normally don't ever come down here, and they get down here and they start looking at everything, and it's like really nice and fun way to get into the community and everything like that.
With the Christmas season winding down, you might think business would have been slow today, but the walkways were still filled with shoppers, even on this rainy day. In fact, vendors tell me they're looking forward to even more business after the holiday.
The day after Christmas is usually a very busy day. It's usually a very good day as well. Lots of people are spending their holiday money or their Christmas money that they got, and it's just a great opportunity for people to be able to explore and share and learn.
From talking to the local businesses down here, actually everyone has told me that this week will be really busy and awesome for sales. So I am actually looking forward to a lot more sales.
The Savannah Christmas Market is open until January 1st, which means you still have plenty of time to head down to River Street and meet some of Savannah's local artists.
Speaking of Christmas, with the holiday over, many of us now need to get rid of a lot of boxes, wrapping paper, and even our Christmas trees. Bring One for the Chipper kicked off today at Savannah Airport. You can stop by the airport's recycling lot on Agate Drive until January 7th. Now just be sure before dropping off your tree that you take off all the decorations. Trees will be chipped into mulch that will then be used throughout the airport's property. And the Lowcountry also has a recycling drop-off point. Beaufort County residents with convenience center decals can bring their Christmas trees to any center during normal business hours. For residents who don't have decals, items can be dropped off at Shanklin Road in Beaufort or Simonsville Road in Bluffton. Again, remove all decorations before you drop off a tree and be sure to flatten cardboard boxes. There'll be bins for trees, cardboard boxes, wrapping paper, bubble wrap, and leftover cooking grease. So really anything you can think of. For more information on locations and hours, you can call 843-255-2736. And today is the first day of Kwanzaa, a celebration of African American culture, and some local events are being held to mark the holiday. That includes the 4th annual Kwanzaa Crawl. This event showcases local restaurants, artists, and vendors from Savannah's African American community. A different restaurant will host the celebration each night, and tonight it'll be B. Nicole Bistro on East Victory Drive. Donations and proceeds collected throughout the week will benefit Save Our Youth Savannah, and you can also find more details on that at WSAV.com.
All right, here's a quick look at your time saver traffic report. No big delays to really speak of other than Savannah to Hilton Head. We're running around 20 minutes behind schedule there just because of some slowdowns due to some traffic. We're also seeing some fog develop near the coastline. So if you are headed to Hilton Head at this time, make sure you use that reduced speed with that reduced visibility, and that will continue through the overnight hours and into the day tomorrow, where you will also start out pretty cloudy. However, peaks of sunshine are possible as we head into the afternoon with temperatures in the upper 60s to around 70. We'll have a more detailed look at our full forecast coming up in just a little bit. Christine?
Thanks, Brian. And up next, why not end the year with a bang? How can you see and hear a massive cannon get fired off this week at Old Fort Jackson? We'll tell you when we come back.
Right now, blizzard conditions, travel delays, and flight cancellations on this day after Christmas, plus the growing number of attacks on the nation's bus drivers and what some cities are doing to protect them. Ahead on Nightly News.
Welcome back. In a WSAV military report now, Old Fort Jackson in Savannah is offering some special programming this week. The fort has been known for daily cannon firings. Usually they fire the smaller cannon, the 6 or 12-pound one. On Friday, though, they're going to fire the largest cannon that they have. It's the 9-inch Dahlgren cannon, and it's an original cannon that was cast in 1857. They've reinforced the inside with stainless steel to protect it. And then on Saturday, the fort will welcome the 4th Georgia Continentals for a special presentation. They're a group of historians that have done an incredible research on accurately portraying the lives of the Patriots and British troops during the Revolutionary War.
Thanks to their help, we will be able to give a much more complete and impressive display of the weapons and tactics that were used in 1778. This is an exciting year because this will be the 245th anniversary when the British captured Savannah in the Revolutionary War. So we're so excited that they're going to help us more completely tell that story.
Old Fort Jackson is located off of President Street in Savannah, and it's one of 6 historic sites managed by the Coastal Heritage Society.
Storm Team 3 meteorologist Brian Mishkin here with a look at your forecast. We're taking a live view of the Savannah River. Very, very overcast today. And it's also very foggy at the moment as well. We're starting to see reduced visibility. We've got a lot of low-level moisture as well as very calm winds at the moment. So that is very conducive to fog development. We'll see that continue as we go through the overnight hours. But right now, overcast skies, 65 degrees. That dew point and temperature are matching, so that's one indication that you can tell that there's fog in the area. 65-degree dew point, also very sticky as well. And again, winds are calm at the moment to aid in that fog development. Here's our visibilities across the region. Very reduced in a lot of spots, down to 1 mile here in Savannah, as well as Baxley, Glenville, even into Vidalia and Metter. Otherwise, we're starting to reduce that visibility in Beaufort down to 4 miles, less than a quarter mile visibility in Rincon and Hilton Head, some of the denser fog residing right along the coastline. So that will continue through the overnight hours and even into early tomorrow morning. So if you are out and about, make sure you travel with reduced speeds when encountering some of this fog, and some areas could be denser than others. So if you are in areas of dense fog, make sure you avoid using high beams when you're out on the roadways. Storm Team 3 Viper radar, we're dry when it comes to shower activity. We did have a few lingering showers that just moved out of our viewing area to the north. However, a little bit misty in some spots, especially along the coastline. So we're going to see those misty conditions continue through the early overnight hours before we really start to dry up for the day tomorrow. Big expansive range that is just offshore, luckily going to be missing us to the north and east, moving into the Charleston area. Storm totals when it came to the past 24 to 36 hours, we hit a little bit over an inch here in Savannah, a little bit over an inch in Hilton Head as well. Off to the west, around an inch in Statesboro, and around a half inch in Sylvania. A little bit less as you work your way off to the south and west. Glenville around a quarter of an inch, around a tenth of an inch in Baxley. Certainly some much needed rainfall, but certainly the heaviest rain falling in and around the Savannah area. Temperatures around the mid-60s, lower 70s almost in a couple of spots, and we are not going to fall that much as we go through the overnight hours into the lower 60s, upper 50s in other spots. Just a few lingering showers as we go throughout the next couple of hours, but otherwise the main story will be the fog through the overnight hours. Next 3 days, sunshine's going to return, but look at those temperatures falling into the 50s for Friday as a cold front pushes its way through the area. So timing things out, again, maybe a few lingering showers. Otherwise, we'll start to dry out. We will see that fog develop, though, as we head through the overnight hours and into the early morning period of tomorrow. That fog will burn off as we head throughout the afternoon of your Wednesday. And we'll see some peaks of sunshine with temperatures getting back up into the upper 60s to around 70 degrees. So another above normal day temperature-wise when it comes to your Wednesday. Going through Thursday, rain chances staying low, and then as that high pressure system moves into place, we will see low rain chances as we head into this weekend and a lot of sunshine as well to ring in the new year. At least for tonight, temperatures upper 50s, right around 60 north of I-16, a little bit less as you work your way off to the south and west, but that fog will be the main story. So again, make sure you're being safe out there on the roadways. Tomorrow we'll be in the upper 60s to around 70. We'll have some peaks of sunshine throughout the afternoon, but overall we'll be dealing with that fog for the morning commute. Otherwise, winds light out of the west at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Marine forecast sees 3 to 4 feet. Small craft advisory is still in effect. 7-day forecast, we'll be having lots of sunshine as we head through this weekend. Temperatures, though, will be chilly, only in the low 50s.
Wow, that is pretty cold, especially for Georgia, Brian.
A little bit chilly for this time of year, around 10 degrees below normal, so you're certainly going to want that extra layer.
Absolutely, and I mean, it's not that cold for us because we're from Jersey.
I know, yes, but it's for the South. It's definitely cold.
And you wear your jersey on your sleeve. Everyone knows you're from Jersey, so,
I guess so.
pretty cold for us down in Georgia. All right, a college football player and Savannah native back in their hometown. That's coming up next. And earlier this year, he gave his father a very special gift. We'll tell you more after the break.
So, what's up, bro? I'm here. Hi, Corey. Hi, how you doing?
I'm actually doing okay.
I know.
I didn't actually totally mess up the entire show. So.
I don't know. I've been watching.
Get your free case review from Farah and Farah, lawyers in Savannah you can trust. Now, your Farah and Farah WSAV Sports Desk.
Good evening and welcome to Sports. I'm Corey Howard. I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas. Speaking of the holidays, let's talk about what makes them special. 9 times out of 10, most people will tell you family. For Florida State star linebacker Kalen DeLoach, that's absolutely true. In fact, he used one of the biggest moments of his career to give his father a very special gift. So let's take you back to it. About a month ago, the Noles found themselves in a tight game against their arch rivals, the Florida Gators. Well, in that game with less than 2 minutes to go, Kalen DeLoach made the game-sealing interception. And you want to know what he did after that interception. How about let's give Dad a nice souvenir?
I was numb, to the fact that, man, my son makes his play on one of the biggest stages, a rivalry game, last time playing in the Swamp, and then to be able to, that parent that sits in the stands to get the ball and all the other parents happy for me and happy for him, I mean, it's just a dream come true.
Now, that's only the beginning. Tonight, we're going to go deeper into the DeLoach family story. Make sure that you tune back in for that. But that's a look at sports. We'll have more news after the break.
All right, welcome back for one final story. Now, the Christmas gift giving may be over, but it's not too late to get someone you love an awesome present. And we have just the thing, especially for someone who loves high school football. Tickets are on sale right now for the Blitz Border Bowl. It's the ultimate showdown between the Coastal Empire and the Low Country. The game kicks off on Saturday, January 13th at Memorial Stadium. Tickets are $15, and this event will benefit the Ronald McDonald House charity. We have a link to purchase tickets at WSAV.com/Blitz Border Bowl. Now, Corey, I know this is right up your alley. I didn't realize high school football was so big here in the South.
Well, it's big. It's big. It's big all across the state. But nonetheless, I really think that, you know, I just talked to the coaches. They're excited about it. So good stuff, man.
Sounds like it's going to be a really fun time. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. That's our time on News 3 at 10 on We'll Be Next. So thanks for joining us.